Hey, so fam, Amelia Adair here. I hope that last meal was what you needed. All right, and we back with another special kitchen edition. And of course, I'm making my all-time fave empanadas. Okay, so there's so many things you can put in empanadas, but today we're gonna switch it up and we're gonna try something else. And we're gonna try these chicken Alfredo empanadas. Okay, so fam, so you already know no one has done this before. All right, so you're getting some exclusive Amelia specialties in the kitchen. And you always want to start with some ground turmeric. You already know, so fam, I put this in everything because it just fights for you and it really just opens up the flavor in your food. So make sure you put that turmeric in there first, mix it up. Then you want to get some fresh black pepper, some Himalaya pink salt, just a dash of this Himalaya salt, because the Himalaya salt is very, very, we're going to say potent. And so you don't want your food to be, dry, with a salt flavor. Okay. You want to use the salt to kind of just, you could say, eliminate the flavors that, aren't as flavorful. That's what the salt really does. You don't really want to use it to bring flavor to your food. Okay. So you want to add that in, and I do love this all-purpose Kinders. I've been trying different seasonings. This one's been all right, but we always got to add that classic Sazon. All right, add that classic Sazon. That wasn't a full packet either, so fam. So just be mindful that it looks like I'm putting a lot in there, but I'm really not. And then of course we're gonna put this in the fridge and let that marinate. Okay. So now it's time for some veggies. So you want to always dice up your veggies however you like. Okay, I love onions. I don't like onions. I love onions. I love peppers. And you will see me use it a lot in my dishes because it's just straight to the point and it's very nutritious for you. And it's with the green peppers and the yellow peppers, it actually adds some color into the dish too. So sometimes I'm adding things because I'm a visual eater. So I love for the visual to come together with the colors of the vegetables. And I mean, you could never go wrong with a vegetable. That's the one. So choose whatever vegetables you like, so fam, because you got to eat this. Okay. You got to eat this, not me. I'm eating mine. And this is how I like it. Okay. And I like to saute my onions first with, of course, that avocado oil. I told y'all that this avocado oil brings flavor as well. It's a small flavor where it's not a grease flavor. So that's why I really like the avocado oil. And with my veggies, I always do one seasoning, just a little garlic butter, because that's what I have right now at the moment. So we're going to add that in. We're going to let this simmer. And while that simmers on a nice low heat, we are going to move over to the mushrooms. Okay, so the mushrooms in this dish is really going to add like a filler, because when you think about chicken Alfredo or so fam, it's a pasta, it's usually kind of heavy. And so because we're not going to have no pasta in our dish, because that's going to just be too much pasta, dough, fried. So we're going to switch over to these mushrooms and we're going to chop them up real dicey. And they also have a lot of vitamin B. Okay, you have your B2, your B3, your B9, and that's important for cell growth and cell formation. So, really keep you growing inside, not just staying at one place. All right. So you want to season these up a little bit, nothing heavy, just a little bit as it sits to the side, because we're going to add the mushrooms in when the chicken is almost finished, because they don't really need that much cook time. All right. But they do need season time. So we're going to chop these up. And if you don't like mushrooms, I've seen people do potatoes, but again, potato is heavy. So you just want to be mindful of the amount of weight you're putting in your food. Okay. Because that's going to determine the amount of weight you're walking around with. Okay. So yes, you want to put that nice and light and put those mushrooms to the side to sit, because you don't want it all cooking at the same time. I mean, you could, but it's not going to hit the way it's supposed to hit. You know what I'm saying? So fam. So after you saute up your onions and vegetables, you have your mushrooms set to the side. You want to mix it all together, mix it all in, because we're going to fry it, but first we're going to really steam it. So the way I like to get the chicken really flavorful, moist when you bite into the empanada is to really cook it. You don't want to just fry it and then it's too tough. No, you want to simmer cook it. So you add a little avocado oil. And you don't need to add water because the chicken is going to produce its own water when you cover it with the lid on a medium cook. Okay, so fam, so you want to eyeball this, but you'll see after about 10 minutes or so, it'll start to steam. This is what you're trying to create, a steam, and the oil is going to start to create a juice and its own natural sauce that's going to blend with the Alfredo sauce that we're going to use. All right, so fam, so let this simmer, let this cook. This is how it should be looking. This is how you know it's straight. And then once it cooks through enough, you're going to remove the lid and let the water steam out. Once the water steams out, then you want to add your mushrooms, because hello, the mushroom's going to add more water. You don't want watery chicken. Okay, that's not what we're doing over here. So you want to blend that in. And when the chicken cooks down, look at this, so fam. Need I say more? Once you mix this in really well, you're going to change the heat to medium heat, and you want to let it cook together. Okay, so you want to cover this up with a lid, and then we'll be back in about 5 minutes, not that long. The mushrooms cook really fast. Okay, all right, so fam, so once you get that simmered in, we're gonna add some beautiful spinach. Now, remember what I told you about spinach is that it doesn't have a strong taste, and on top of that, it has a very pretty green color. So I'm not gonna put heavy spinach in this because one, it's gonna just be more like a blender. Okay, you want this to be blended into the dish, and it's gonna really make it pop. Okay, so add another vegetable of your choice. Again, spinach is my choice, but you can do as you please. And a little seasoning. The spinach do have, you gotta put a little love on it. All right, you don't want it to become blanding out and watering up the food. All right, so you want to simmer that for a few more minutes and watch the magic happen. All right, so fam, so now for the magic. I'm about to put you on, so fam, to this Alfredo sauce. Now, I know you can make your own. That's great. But today, let me show you this truffle Alfredo. When I saw this, I said, oh, y'all trying to get busy in the kitchen, okay? So fam, if they got this in your local supermarket, pop this out, okay? And if they don't, so fam, don't get the blue top. Let this become its own sauce. Make it, add the heavy whipping cream and get with it, you know. But in this case, so fam, this Alfredo sauce was the perfect touch. And so because we're not making pasta, we're gonna thicken up the gravy, the sauce gravy, same thing, by adding one simple ingredient. Okay, we're going to add, well, this is the seasoning. We're going to season that just a little bit, just a dash. You know, I dash along the way. I don't know if you season like me, so fam, but I dash along the way because I really would be so sad if my food come out salty. So let's take a little bit at a time and taste as you go. All right, so fam, but to make this sauce a little thicker, you're just going to add a little bit of flour. Because we make an empanada, so you don't want it to be pouring out like pasta. That's going to be hard to close, and that's going to be annoying when you're trying to fry it. Okay, so the best flour is the wheat flour, but you just need a little bit. Okay, a little bit is not going to hurt you. Sometimes we try to be really healthy and eliminate every single thing. We're going to be sitting around looking real clueless. Okay, the trick is to really just have a little bit. Sometimes we just overeat or overuse something, and too much of anything is not good for you. All right. They also have gravy maker that you can add in this, but in this case, I didn't have that in the cabinet. I had a little flour, so I threw a little flour in there, and here we go. Now we got everything we need to prep our empanadas. Now I did this twice, so fam, off camera, on camera. On camera, I put the mozzarella cheese. Let me just say, you don't need the mozzarella cheese. skip the mozzarella cheese step. Okay, you going it just was unnecessary. But I'm used to making like cheese empanadas. So I was like, let me try it. It wasn't bad. I still ate it. But you didn't need it. All right. So if you could skip the mozzarella cheese part, skip that part. Come back to that another day. Fill these up with some chicken Alfredo and watch it come together. All right. And if you really want to get bassy, you can get the yellow empanada. I love those too. They just didn't have it over here. Over here, they don't have a lot of Hispanic choices. I had to search everywhere for these empanada shells. And that's how I ended up making the croissant meal, because I couldn't find the empanada shells. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta make these. I was craving them. And craving them right. Like you can't just eat anybody empanada. Like it's like eating a beef patty. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be done right. So anyway, fam, get you some beautiful dough empanada shells. Fold these up. First, you want to squeeze them together with your fingers. I swear I'm doing something on camera, but I'm probably just so focused trying to get it in there. But first, you squeeze it with your fingers, and then you seal it with the fork. Okay, seal it with the fork all around the sides, and make sure your grease is, heating up while you're doing this. Because when the grease is heated up, it just makes frying 20 times simpler, and your food doesn't over sit in the grease. You don't need it to be just cooking the food inside again. You want it to just literally fry the outside. All right, fam, so once you do that, you want to drop these in the fryer, nice and easy. And fam, yes, I'm using that avocado oil. You already know. And fam, look at these. Crispy texture. I mean, fam, I was sitting there like, oh my God, this is really fulfilling. All right. It looks like a small dish, but it's like sushi. Like, how sushi is very small. You'd be like, nah, sushi can't fill me up. But that rice start to stuff you up. This is going to stuff you up. All right. Fam. So I got it on the sushi dish. And what I loved was the next day you can use whatever's left with a little bit of rice. So try it different ways. See how you liked it. I loved it both ways, honestly. Like with the rice, I was smacking down. You could probably even throw some pasta on there and smack it down. But if you're trying to eliminate the pastas, these are just some alternative options that you can try. Look at my face. Look at me. Hey. Woo! Booby. Enjoy.